If you are a Crawford fanboy, this video isn't for you. I suggest you turn it off because here at the MOBC, we talk only about boxing and we are a fan of boxing and not the boxer. Although we do have boxers that we like, Crawford being one of them, the MOBC, we are not fanboys over here. Crawford is a fighter who became undisputed at 140 and then undisputed at 147. Both at 140 and at 147, he's been criticized about his opponents, especially at 147. There was a time where Crawford was being hated on because there was a bunch of fanboys from PBC claiming that his resume isn't good, that he's not fighting the Keith Thurmans and the Danny Garcias and the Sean Porters, right? But in Earl Spence. But these guys are all on the PBC side. Crawford was on the top rank side. So a lot of the times those fights, they probably wasn't going to take place. And he was getting hated on. But he did get a shot at Sean Porter. A lot of people, some picked Sean Porter to beat Terence Crawford, right? And then he stopped Sean Porter, right? Something no one has never done. Okay? Then he goes on and he beats Errol Spence. The rest is history. They're supposed to have a rematch. It looks like that fight's not taking place. So, what do we have going on? Spence says he has an injury. We don't know what Crawford is doing. There's rumors that he's supposed to fight Canelo. There's rumors that he's supposed to fight at 154 versus Charlo. Charlo who fights at 154. The Charlo that just fought Canelo. And then there's Boots. All right? Then there's Boots Ennis, who fights at 147. Crawford is the undisputed champion at 147. IBF stripped him from his title for whatever reason. Now, Crawford fans are stuck in between a rock and a hard place because they don't understand how boxing works. Okay? They feel like Boots hasn't done anything. He needs to fight other competition. He needs to work his way up to fight Crawford. And that's fine and dandy. I do believe that Boots' resume isn't up to par on that level to fighting someone like Crawford. But on the flip side of that, there isn't much at 147 anymore. Danny Garcia is fighting at 154. Sean Porter retired. Keith Thurman is fighting at 154. All of the good fighters are at 140. They haven't moved up to 147 yet. So Boots, I believe Virgil Ortiz and Stanionis, I believe they moved up to 154 or are planning on fighting at 154. So we don't know what's going on with the 147-pound division. So an intriguing fight and a interesting fight would be Crawford and Boots. And I say this time and time again, you Crawford fanboys, you can't say that Canelo is ducking Benavidez and that he should fight Benavidez and that he's cherry-picking Munguia and not give the same energy to Crawford about Boots Ennis. Crawford may face Chris Eubank Jr. And I'll be honest with you, I actually don't have a problem with this fight. Fighters move up in weight all the time. I think Chris Eubank Jr. is a decent fighter. I think he should be more active. His resume is okay. I liked his fight with Billy Joe Saunders. I thought that fight could have gone either way. I believe Billy Joe Saunders won all the earlier rounds, and then Chris Eubank won the later half, if I remember correctly. I like his fight with George Groves. Many of us who watch boxing pretty much picked George Groves to win that. That's fine. I think George Groves is a good opponent. Then he knocked out Yildirim. That was pretty cool. And then he fought James DeGale. I believe, now he beat James DeGale. And I do believe if James DeGale didn't have that war with Badu Jack, he probably would have beat Chris Eubank Jr. I believe after the fight with Badu Jack, James DeGale was never the same after that. But it's an intriguing fight, and I like it. I do. I like this fight. It's going to show us it'll show us what Crawford can do in a heavier weight if he is ready to face someone like Canelo. That's why I don't have a problem with this fight. What I have a problem with is boxing bias fans who don't want to give the same energy to Crawford as they're doing with Canelo. And again, I don't care about Canelo, but I'm calling a spade a spade. If you guys are saying he's ducking Benavidez, you guys got to say the same thing about Crawford ducking Boots. And I don't believe neither one of them is ducking Benavidez. Maybe Benavidez, but I'm not sure about that one. Maybe Canelo's ducking him, but I'm not sure. But, it is what it is. It's 50-50 on that one. Sometimes I say he is, sometimes I say he isn't. I don't know. But as far as the Boots is concerned, if you're campaigning at 147 and you're an undisputed champion, and although you got stripped, you still have those titles to defend. And at least Canelo was defending his title against Munguia, who happens to fight in his weight class. But you're moving up to fight a guy in a heavier weight class. You should be stripped and let those titles be vacant and let the guys at 147 fight for your titles. Because if you're campaigning at 147, you should defend your title. This is the second time now in a weight class where you become undisputed and you did not defend your undisputed title, like Marvin Hagler. Okay? You were supposed to fight Lipinets and it didn't happen. And now you were supposed to fight Crawford, which would have been a rematch / defending your title. He got injured. So why not fight the guy who most fans want to see you fight, an upcoming guy? Everyone grilled Floyd Mayweather for not fighting a lot of these upcoming guys at 147. I believe that Crawford should be flamed the same way. I think Crawford is talented. I think Crawford could beat Boots. But this whole boxing is a business and, I deserve this and that. I'm not here to go into your pockets. Do whatever you want. But boxing is a sport also. And I think a lot of boxing fans and all these promoters are forgetting that boxing is also a sport. Stop saying that boxing is a business. It is also a freaking sport. And you guys are forgetting that. You guys seem to forget that boxing is a sport. So don't sit there and say that Crawford he did what he had to do, so now he can make these moves and that moves. No, you became undisputed at 147. Now you should defend your title at 147, just like a lot of the past fighters did. You can't be called no throwback fighter and you're not defending your undisputed champ title. And you got stripped from your IBF. And if you want to be that champion again, then why don't you fight for that belt again? Prove to the IBF that that is your belt and that it belongs around your waist. Otherwise, in the eyes of most boxing fans, you are ducking. And again, I don't know what's going on, but I would definitely like to see you fight Boots Ennis at 147. But If you're going to fight Chris Eubank Jr., I'm cool with that too. This is the MOBC, my own boxing community.